have the ability to just edit out.
Yes.
So when there's chunks of just us chit-chatting or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so this one is, what's your favorite story from when your kids were teenagers?
I think
a
we
few of
heard one of
those.
I think we talked
I
about
think we had the Chicago bus.
Yeah, we heard the Chicago story. I don't know if that's your favorite story though.
Yeah, that the Chicago bus thing was a trip. Let's see, my favorite story. One of the stories that I just remember from that time was when you were living with Dave, and so it was during the school year, and there's a curfew in your area, 11 or 12
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
And I got the news after the fact, but Chris and a friend got in Dave's truck, which he didn't even have a driver's license, and drove down to the grocery store like at 3 a.m. to just get a bag of chips or something. And the people called the police, and Dave had to come get him. And so I just remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe one you don't remember.
I don't know. I don't recall.
I mean, you
that.
weren't part of it. You weren't.
Yeah.
You didn't go because I think you might have had a driver's license by then. I know Chris didn't because he had to go to court, and that was for part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I also, because from the time you guys were just teenagers on, then Dave and I were divorced.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
a lot of my teenage year memories focus around you guys coming to stay with
Yeah.
us
During the
and
summers. Yeah.
things that we wanted to do, to try to help your summer be better.
Yeah.
And so I do remember the time when we had moved to Cocoa in Florida,
Yeah.
and
Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach.
And not the city of Cocoa
the
Beach.
city town, yeah, and we were going to have an open house to invite people that we were working with, and I just had no balance when it came to how much food we would need for anything. And I literally made like 15 cheesecakes.
Oh, I know this story. That's what I
Yeah.
said. Like, I know some and I don't know some.
Yeah.
And this is one I know.
And so, you take 15 cheesecakes times, 10 slices, and you invite 20 people over, and you do the math.
One cheesecake per person.
There was
almost.
a lot of cheesecake. You remember that, don't you, Lee?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's almost as good as when Mom and them came over for Easter.
That's true. I could tell you that story.
Okay.
That's got nothing
So-
to do with the boys.
No,
That's
but
right.
it does have to do with when you were you were a teenager. So you and Chris had come for spring break, and so you were there during Easter. And I said to Lee, let's invite everybody over for Easter brunch
And where did you live?
in Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria, okay.
Yeah, and I said to Lee, we'll invite your family, which is, his siblings, Donna and her family, and Ray and his son, and then Don, his mom, and Geneva's mom, and then Kay, his sister, who always had her grandchildren with her, so they always mix. And Lee said, I don't really think that, yeah, and Kay's husband, Joe. And he said, I really don't think that's a good idea. And I said, honey, if we're going to live where your family is, then we have to do family things, and this is one of them. It's Easter. And so he said, okay. And I sent out invitations to everybody. And I made 12 Easter baskets because I remember making 12. So there had to have been 12 little kids, including you and Chris and the other kids that were there. And so Lee's mom brought her grandson, Sean, and who she raised. And Sean was a grandson that could do no wrong in her grandma's eyes, in his grandma's eyes. And she was very protective of him. Well, all you kids were in that little room where we had
Yeah.
the ping, or the
Video game.
yeah
Atari?
Yeah.
Atari.
Was it Atari?
It was an Atari setup, and so I came in and I said to all of you, okay, you have to take turns. Well, we were sitting.
Well, that's because there was a disturbance.
Yes, yeah,
It was caused by Ray.
by Sean.
I meant Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could tell, I could hear the voices getting higher, and somebody said it's my turn, and he said no, it's not, and it's my turn, and it just started in a ruckus. So I was just sitting with the others, and it was escalating. So I went in there, and just prior to that, Kay's husband had showed up, and he had gone over. Well, we made a brunch that could have fed 40, 50 people. I made 18 sets of eggs Benedict because I knew everybody would want one. And he's looking at that and
Pearls
he's like,
before the swine.
oh yeah. He looked at that, whoa, he's going, what could that be? What, you know, it was just really Neanderthal looking at this.
Well, that was Joe.
That was Joe.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to him what a eggs Benedict is, and it was not going well. So anyhow, there got to be a pretty ruckus in the room, and so I went in and I did what I always do. I turned it off, and I said, "Okay, everybody head outside.
Yeah.
I don't care whose fault it was. I don't want you. You guys have been warned. Get outside. It's a beautiful day. Go." And Lee's mom heard me say, and Sean, I'm thinking he came out crying, and she took his hand and she started out the door and down the street, and you know, she was half paralyzed and she didn't drive, and her husband didn't come to the brunch. He just dropped her off and went to his own family's event. So here she is walking with this little guy,
No,
her
you're
hand
being-
hanging onto
You're
him.
being too gracious with
Oh.
Donald.
Oh, for Donald.
He went to the hospital.
Oh, do you think he did?
Yeah, he goes
Oh.
to the he used to go up to the hospital to eat lunch.
Okay, so
It was on
Donald
Easter. He's going to the hospital to eat. Instead of
probably
eating with us.
probably because he could get really cheap food or something. But he was a piece of work. That was Lee's stepfather. But
Okay.
anyway, she started down the street, and Lee's running after her saying, "Mom, come back. We can work this out." Well, she didn't want her grandson. I didn't yell at any of them, and I didn't pick on any of them. I
Yeah.
said, "Everybody outside." But anyway, and she didn't speak to me for about 6 months.
Jeez.
And one day she called me and I was at work, and she said, I'm sorry. And she said, I am thankful that you love my son, and I just want you to know I'm sorry. And that was it. That was the that was the day. And then the next time I went to her house, she gave me a big hug, and that was over.
It was the end of a day that started as a disaster.
I remember that day.
Yeah.
I bet you do, because we
I
set up
remember
the
that
big
day
table.
was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was a very uncomfortable day.
I think
Well,
so.
they all came
Yeah.
in. Almost every one of them came in, and they stopped it. Now we're having an Easter brunch, and she goes through all the trouble to fix it, and they
And they-
all stop at McDonald's.
and they-
on the way
Oh,
over.
that's right.
The kids
Oh,
one, do
that's
you remember?
right. Yes.
You know, I completely forgot that. But they
forgot about
came
that too.
they came in, and all the kids had like a Happy Meal set.
Yeah.
And I did have all this food. And that's right. I forgot
I
about
forgot
that.
about that too.
Yeah, they didn't bring you one.
No, no.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
That's
That
a
was
good,
good.
it's a good story,
That was
Ken.
good. That's a good one.